Okay. Good afternoon. Good evening, everybody. Welcome back to the Faces for Autism South Jersey Field of Dreams celebration dinner. You've heard stories from our Faces families, from our field families, from our board members, from both organizations. Now it's time to hear a story from someone who was involved in the very beginning of the South Jersey Field of Dreams. I was going to surprise everybody, but I figured I bet it would be a good idea not to, since the restaurant wants to know who I'm interviewing. Joining me this evening is the morning show host of Light 96.9. It's not Light Rock 96.9 anymore.
No, it's not.
It's Light 96.9 WFPG morning man Eddie Davis. Eddie was our announcer in the very beginning.
Right, you are. Yep, I was there.
So Eddie, tell us a little bit about yourself and how you got involved with us 20 years ago.
Well, at the time, I actually wasn't on WFPG. I hadn't transitioned there. I was on another station in that same building, Mix 97.3, which was another music station. And Fran Northridge, who still works with me and is involved in the South Jersey Field of Dreams, asked me if I had some time to come out and help with the opening day for an organization that she was volunteering for. And she told me about it. And I said, absolutely, it sounds great. And so I went out, and it was not the ball field that you would see today, certainly, if you went there. It was a pretty basic little kind of softball or t-ball field. And there were several teams. I can't remember, but not as many as there would be today. A few, maybe 4 or 5. And I tried to call the play-by-play. And my recollection is that I don't think I ever did play-by-play. I've been in radio for many years, but that's a specific thing. And people who do that, that's something that you really need to learn and master. And I had not mastered it. And I just remember thinking, this is really hard. And I couldn't keep all the kids' names straight. And people were yelling, that's not my son. So the opening day, I was being heckled.
Oh, that's nice. Opening day of a brand new organization, and you're being heckled by the fans.
Yeah, I'm kind of overstating it a little bit, but it was difficult to do. But I came back once or twice and tried again. But you had such a great organization that you had someone who was there on a regular basis. Wayne, I know the gentleman named Wayne, and John Glassy, who had some experience in broadcasting. I think he was involved in the NHL, if I'm not mistaken.
The NHL Flyers.
Yeah, so they were both real pros at that, and so they kind of took over. But I would still come back, especially for opening days. And for many years, the majority of the years, I've tried to be there for the opening day. It's great. And I think it was one opening day that Darren Dalton was there. Was that an opening day
Darren,
the Phillies catcher?
Yeah, Phillies catcher.
So that was a special time. But every time I go there, I'm just knocked out by how well organized it is. And each time you go, it's a little better. One year you'll go and there's lights, and the next year there's a gift shop, and the next year there's a fence, and the next year they've updated the field and they put a playground in, and just something every year. So your grandfather and all the other people who work so hard on that do an amazing job.
And Eddie, I remember Kevin McCarty was with us from Renault Winery. I remember me, you, and him were the first official putters, if you will, for the miniature golf course when that was installed.
That's right. Yes, I remember. I think I have a photo that pops up every year on Facebook a memory of that. So that's right. That's another good memory. Lots of good memories there.
Yeah, lots of good memories, Eddie. And it's it's great to see, as I've said tonight, the volunteers are still coming back. You're getting still the same families that have been involved since year one, and here we are, year 20.
Yeah, it's great. And the another thing that I remember, that's absolutely right. And as long as you're speaking about volunteers, one of the things that I was always really impressed with was that local high school kids, like Absegami high school kids, or the softball team or the baseball team from that school, or various other schools. I don't even know which. Cedar Creek, I think I may have seen one time, would volunteer their time and come out and help the players and cheer them on and out there on the field. And really, you needed that. So that was just another way that it was important to the community.
Oh, yeah. And I mean, each one of the high schools, whether it's ACIT, Cedar Creek, GAMI, they're bringing their groups out year after year after year. And some of them are coming back once, twice, three times, just because they're getting so much out of the program.
That's right. And those kids don't realize what a great experience that is. And what an eye-opening experience. That's as good as any education they're getting in the classroom. So it's a great thing. So I'd be interested in hearing quickly about your history with the Field of Dreams. I mean, it was you were just a small child when it first opened up. What did it mean? What did it mean to you as you were growing up?
What did it mean to me then? What it meant to me then was like you. My memory of the beginning is. I mean, if I looked at a picture, I think I would be able to say, "Oh yeah, that was from year one." But if you asked me to identify anything, my memory would be go kaput. But I mean, it was, and it still is, so nice that the volunteers and everybody is still giving back all these years later, and that we're all still so close. The other teammates on the other teams, the kids, the coaches, and it still means a lot to all of us.
I bet it does. Yeah. And it's grown so much. How many teams are there now in the Field of Dreams?
Now we have, from when you started, there were 4 and 5, and now there's up to 12 teams. One
That's
year,
great.
if I'm not mistaken, there was, because I used to sit at the registration desk. That used to be my job, to sit there. Now everything's online and I don't have to do that. Anyway, one year there was 100, I think we had 100 new registrants.
Amazing. And they're not all from the Galloway Absecon area either, are they? Some of they're coming a long distance, some of those folks, aren't they?
Oh yeah, some of them are coming. There was one year we had a family come from, I think, Lancaster, Pennsylvania.
Oh wow. Goodness.
And they thought it was a one-game deal, and as you know, Eddie, it's between a 6 and an 8 game deal, and they thought it was a one-game deal, and that's how it goes. And I mean, when you can, you still come by for the openings. I mean, I remember when Darren Dalton was there. What was that? If you remember,
geez, it's got to be 10 years or more. He's been dead for a number of years, so it's easily 10 years ago. But I remember, I'm a big Phillies fan, so I was like, wow, not only is the Field of Dreams season opener going on, but there's Darren Dalton. I was impressed.
I'll have to, if I find any pictures, I'll have to text them to you of that event. I mean, I'm
Absolutely.
Sure somewhere.
Yeah.
So in the last 20, when you have gone, Is there one particular memory that has stood out?
It's a series of memories, but it's all basically a similar thing, and it's the joy on the players' faces as they cross home plate, and the joy in the people who are assisting them, the high school kids. The whole scene is just such a wonderful thing. It's just such a victory for everyone, a victory for kids who were kind of told that they would never be able to play sports or never be able to do that. And there they are doing it. And kids who never envisioned themselves being able to help someone achieve that. And there they are doing it. It's just a wonderful thing. And I've seen it with a number of people, but I get the same thrill out of it each time. It's a great thing.
Yeah, yeah. And like some of the parents and the other coaches that have been with me tonight have said, some of them, they're a little standoffish in the beginning. They don't know what to do. They're afraid to go in. But once they see how a first game is ran, then it's, I think I can do this.
Yeah, yeah. And I'm a big sports fan. I love going to see my daughters play basketball and different things. I just really enjoy watching sports. And I really enjoy the Field of Dreams. I get the same satisfaction from that as I do from any sport, because they're out there competing. It's a wonderful thing. It really is. The kids are up at bat, and the kids in the field. Everybody's they're competing and they're enjoying it. It's great.
Yeah, it's great. If you want to see some good competition, come late Friday nights and Saturdays. It's a real game. They play for outs and everything. Talk about a serious game. That's
Is
a
that right?
serious game if you've ever seen one.
That's great. That's the way it should be. That's what it's all about.
That's the way it should be. Eddie, if you could give anyone any advice watching tonight's broadcast on why they should volunteer their time, become a board member, potentially give back their time to FOD, what would you tell them?
It seems to me that that it would be a wonderful organization. I've just seen the satisfaction that it's brought my coworker Fran Northridge, and just from seeing what they do, it's you see the results of your work. I mean, you really get to see. There are sometimes you're involved with something like that, and you're not really quite sure if it's paying off. Maybe it is, but you don't see it firsthand. At the Field of Dreams, you definitely see it, and you experience it on a weekly basis during the season. And so I would encourage people to do that. It's a wonderful organization, but you need good people to run it. So by all means, volunteer.
Yeah, without the backbone of the board, without your generous sponsors that hang so proudly in the outfield, without generous radio sponsors, I should say, such as Light Rock 96.9, WFPG, if we don't have the volunteers, if we don't have your sponsors, we don't have the Field of Dreams.
That's right. And as years go by, that dedicated crew that put the whole thing together 20 years ago, somebody has to take over for them. They can't do it forever. And so you need somebody to step up. You need the second generation who are going to come in and maintain the level of success that the South Jersey Field of Dreams has experienced so far, and continue to take it to higher levels. That's always been the thing with the South Jersey Field of Dreams. Each year it got a little better. It got the facility, they added something, as I said before, and the quality of the experience for the players got better. And that's what you want to see continue.
Yeah, you want to see that growth. It shouldn't stay at level one forever. It should continue to grow, and you want to see the next generation, get involved, because as you said, nobody's going to be around forever, and the board members that started the thing 20 years ago, that started the organization 20 years ago, they're getting tired. So you need the younger blood like myself or those that are younger aged to do it. So,
Right, you are. Absolutely.
and thank you again to Light Rock for all they've done over the last 20 years.
Yeah, it's amazing to me that 20 years has passed in the blink of an eye like that. But
Yeah,
I hope I'm still around so we can talk about it when it's 40 years, Jacob.
I hope you and me and you both, Eddie. I hope we're both still around when it's 40
Here's
years.
to that. I'll see you in 2043.
Yeah, I'll see you 2043. My mom will tell you, she'll go, oh, I know I won't be alive by then.
All right, let's start taking count of who's going to be there, who's not going to be there. We're just worried about the two of us at this point.
Yeah, we're worried about the two of us and only the two of us, Eddie. So
well, happy